chickens! In this video, I want to talk to you about being average. No, of course not. Nobody wants to be average, but we need to calculate your averages. You need to calculate your arithmetic mean, and knowing exactly how to do that on the SAT is pivotal vocabulary word for you. My name is Katja Sieberson. I'm the inventor of the Sieberson method, a scientifically proven way to learn anything fast. Math, grammar, vocabulary, reading, but today we're just going to use this skill to learn some averages. Let's do this. So many of you know that average is the total divided by the number of things. So let's say you had a statistic from a group of students who declared the number of hours they studied for the SAT. Then you would add up all of those numbers. Let's say you surveyed 10 students, and that would be total number of things. You surveyed 10 people, and then all of them had a different response. So some of them studied for 2 hours, some of them studied for 150, some of them studied for 4, 3 of them studied for 7. By the way, let me know how many hours have you studied. But it's not about the hours, it's about the outcome. It's about the score you get. So this is 6. We need 4 more results. Realistically, it's probably like 100, 90, and one person just went crazy and he studied for 1,000 hours. So now what you're going to do to calculate your average, you're going to be adding up. I would also say total sum. You would be adding up all of these numbers. 2 plus 150 plus 4 plus 7 plus 7 plus 7 plus 100 plus 90 plus 1,000. You would divide that by 10 and you would get your average. Your average is also the same as your arithmetic mean. Being average, and when someone calls you average, that's just mean. So what you do is just remember that being average is very mean. If someone calls you average, so that you can remember that mean of a data set is the same as average. You calculate it the exact same way. There's one more concept. It's called weighted averages, but we're not going to cover it in this video. I will make you a video for weighted averages later on this week, but you're just going to have to wait for it. We will link it up above whenever it's ready. But those are separate things. You also need to know that for the SAT, by the way. But we're going to talk about basic averages for now. You need the total sum of all of the things, and you're going to need the number of data points, the number of things, and then this is how you're going to get your average. One thing you need to know, my chickens, is that a lot of math problems will actually give you your mean. They would say, let's say the mean is 27. By the way, if you guys calculate this average, can you post it below the video? Then we can have a arithmetic contest. So if they give you an average, let's say the average is 27, and then they say that there were 14 participants, and then they will ask you what is the total sum of all of the scores. What you do is you use your previous skill, cross multiplication, not just a calculator, but you also need to cross multiply, because 27, we can think of 27 as 27 over 1. And let's say this number is x. We need to know what that total sum of all of the scores. Then you draw your atom. And if you are so confused, you don't know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about an atom, we just talked about cross multiplication in the previous video. Then you can say that x is equal to 27 times 14. 27 times 14, and that equals to 378. 378 is the total sum of all of the scores. Let's say then they tell you that, actually, one score was mistaken, and one score is actually 5 points lower. What is the mean if one of the scores was 5 points lower? You're like, well, no brainer, because I already know that the total sum is 378. I'm going to subtract 5 because they said that one of the scores was erroneous and it must have been 5 points lower. Then we do, I can calculate this without a calculator. I grabbed a calculator for no reason. So this is going to be 375. What is my new mean? Guess what? I need to divide by 14 again. And that I will need a calculator for. It's going to be 373. Not 375, sorry. 373 divided by 14. 373 divided by 14. That is 26.64. So 26.6 is probably going to be my new mean. So make sure you know this, that if you know the number of things and you know your mean or you know your average, you can do this. In the next 2 videos, we're going to solve a simple problem that has to do with mean or average, and we do a hard problem that requires you to do the same thing. We'll see you in the next video. Bye, my chickens.